Hello friend, welcome to Back My Channel, Old Coins History Today, Video The 1857 United States. $1 coin is one of the most fascinating numismatic artifacts from mid-19th century America. Deeply rooted in a time of profound change, genomically, politically, and industrially. This coin belongs to the era of gold dollar coins, specifically falling under the Type 3 Liberty Head design, which had been introduced just a year earlier in 1856. The $1 gold coin itself was originally authorized by the Act of March 3, 1849. Following the discovery of gold in California and the subsequent California Gold Rush, 1848 to 1855, this rush led to an abundance of gold entering the U.S. economy and prompted Congress to create new small-denomination gold coins to facilitate commerce. The 1857 issue stands as a testament to the United States' desire to stabilize and adapt its currency in response to newfound wealth and expansion. Designed by James B. Longacre, who served as the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint. From 1844 until his death in 1869, the coin displays a Native American-inspired female liberty head crowned with a feathered headdress, often confused with an actual representation of a Native American figure. In fact, Longacre had intended this headdress to symbolize America, portraying liberty in a unique nationalized forma, personification of America's youthful freedom and individuality. The reverse of the 1857 $1 coin features a simple yet elegant agricultural wreath composed of cotton, corn, tobacco, and wheat surrounding the denomination and date. The inclusion of these crops was highly symbolic, representing the economic staples of both the North and South before the Civil War. The denomination reads $1, with the date 1857 beneath it enclosed in the wreath. The coin was struck in .900 fine gold, 90% gold, and 10% copper, with a diameter of 15 millimeters and a weight of 1.672 grams, making it one of the smallest and lightest coins ever circulated in the United States. Its small size posed practical problems. For both consumers and bankers, it was easily lost, often mistaken for other coins, and challenging to handle in everyday transactions. For these reasons, gold dollars never gained full popularity in regular commerce and were more often stored or used for presentation purposes. In the economic context, 1857 was a critical year for the United States, coinciding with the panic of a financial crisis triggered by the declining international economy and overextension of the domestic economy. The failure of the Ohio Life Insurance and Trust Company in August 1857 triggered widespread panic across banks, railroads, and industries. The effects of the panic undermined public confidence in paper currency and further complicated the circulation of coins, especially gold. The Coinage Act of 1857 passed that very year, demonetized foreign silver coins, such as Spanish dollars, that had previously circulated freely alongside U.S. currency. While this act aimed to standardize U.S. coinage, it inadvertently led to a greater reliance on gold coins, especially in Western states where gold was abundant. From a minting standpoint, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 1.5 million gold dollars in 1857, making it a relatively common date in terms of mintage. However, the high attrition rate of these coins, many being melted down for their gold content or lost. Due to their tiny size means that surviving high-grade specimens are quite valuable today, especially those in mint state MS or better condition. Additionally, proofs of this year are exceedingly rare and were likely struck in very limited quantities for collectors or dignitaries. The typical surface of a surviving coin may show wear quickly because of the coin's delicate relief and soft metal. Collectors often prize the 1857 gold dollar for its sharp strike, lustrous fields, and historical significance during an era of national transformation. On a broader historical note, the 1857 $1 gold coin exists within a landscape of growing sectional conflict, mounting tensions over slavery, and rapid westward expansion. Just 3 years prior, the Kansas-Nebraska Act 1854 had sparked violence and national outrage over the spread of slavery. In 1857, the controversial Dred Scott v. Sanford decision by the Supreme Court declared that African Americans could not be citizens, exacerbating national tensions. This societal backdrop makes the 1857 $1 coin more than just a piece of metal. It becomes a window into the heart of a deeply divided, rapidly evolving America. Moreover, the coin represents a time when the American economy was struggling to adapt to massive shifts in infrastructure, including the burgeoning railway system, the telegraph, and increasing immigration, especially from Ireland and Germany. The 1857 $1 coin is also of note to collectors. Due to its transitionary place between the earlier Liberty Head styles and the upcoming numismatic reforms that would eventually be spurred by the Civil War, design on the Type 3 gold dollar attempted to fix issues from the earlier type, 1849 to 1854, and Type 2, 1854 to 1856, designs. The Type 2 design, which was larger in diameter and thinner, suffered from weak strikes, especially around the central areas. The Type 3 coins, such as the 1857 issue, reduced the size slightly and revised the relief, solving many of these problems, though it still had limitations. In numismatic circles, the 1857 gold dollar is highly collectible, not just for its availability, but also because it represents the last full year before the onset of more intense national crises. The production of small denomination gold coins would decline with the outbreak of the American Civil War in 1861, and hoarding of precious metals would later result in the disappearance of gold and silver. Coins from circulation for decades, the 1857 $1 coin serves as a symbol of American ingenuity and expansion during the pre-Civil War period. Its small, brilliant gold form would have stood out in a pocket or coin purse, signifying wealth and trustworthiness in an age when paper currency was still regarded with skepticism. It often served in jewelry and keepsakes, especially among the upper classes. Its portability and value also made it a favorite for gifts, such as wedding or baptismal tokens. The coin's artistry, in retrospect, is a blend of neoclassical elegance and nationalistic symbolism, reflecting a country proud of its identity and poised for confrontation. Today, in the modern numismatic market, the 1857 gold dollar remains an object of fascination. It is highly sought after in graded condition, with prices varying greatly based on quality, luster, strike sharpness, and presence of any mint errors. A coin in average circulated condition may be valued at a few $100, while those graded MS-65 and above by PCGS or NGC can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. The collector community values this coin both for its investment potential and historical richness. It is often recommended as a starting piece for those entering the field of classic gold coin collecting. Beyond monetary value, however, the 1857 $1 coin is a quiet witness to a nation at a crossroads between prosperity and panic, peace and war, unity and division. It captures the optimism and complexity of antebellum America in the palm of one's hand. The year 1789 marks a foundational milestone in the history of the United States, and although the $1 coin had not yet been physically minted, it is in this year that the very philosophical and institutional groundwork for the United States monetary system, particularly the dollar as the core unit of account, was laid, especially the Spanish milled dollar, also known as the piece of 8, which had become so commonly accepted that it effectively functioned as the standard of trade throughout the colonies. By the time 1789 arrived, the United States had declared independence, 1776. Won the Revolutionary War, 1783, and struggled under the weak Articles of Confederation, 1781 to 1789, which had no effective power to regulate money, trade, or taxes. That all changed in 1789 with the implementation of the United States Constitution, which centralized authority and gave the new federal government, for the first time, exclusive control over coinage and monetary policy. Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution granted Congress the power to coin money. This clause essentially planted the seeds for a new American currency system, and the $1 denomination based on the familiar Spanish dollar was envisioned as its central component. The same Constitution also banned states from coining money or issuing their own paper currency, thereby affirming the federal government's sole right to determine national currency. It was in this critical year that George Washington was unanimously Elected and inaugurated as the first President of the United States, assuming office on April 30, 1789, at Federal Hall in New York City. His administration immediately began establishing the structure of the new government, including the Department of the Treasury, which would soon become the command center for all financial and economic decisions. In September 1789, Alexander Hamilton was appointed the first Secretary of the Treasury. Hamilton was a visionary who firmly believed that America's strength and unity depended upon a sound financial foundation. Anchored in a strong federal currency, even before his formal appointment, he had drafted proposals for how a new national mint should be structured, including the creation of coins based on a decimal system, a novel idea at the time, as most currencies used complex, non-decimal subdivisions. The $1 unit was considered a logical centerpiece, familiar, simple, and powerful in symbolism. Hamilton envisioned the dollar not only as the economic backbone of everyday transactions, but as a national emblem of stability, much like the monarchy-backed currencies of Europe represented imperial authority and strength. His ideas would eventually culminate in the Coinage Act of 1792, but in 1789, they were actively being shaped, debated, and planned within the early meetings of Congress and the Treasury, even though the United States Mint was not established. Until 1792, and the first silver $1 coin, the flowing hair dollar, was not struck until 1794. The concept of the $1 coin was very much alive, of national unity, commerce, trust, and sovereignty. In an age where coins served not only as tools of trade but as propaganda and identity, Hamilton's proposals would reflect American ideals: liberty, democracy, and the common man's participation. In the economy, the $1 coin, larger and more valuable than cents and half cents, was envisioned to circulate widely among merchants, landowners, and eventually citizens of all classes. It was also a statement to the world that the United States, though young, possessed the technological, economic, and political confidence to mint its own money and act that, historically, has always been a defining power of a sovereign nation. During 1789, Congress was also engaged in considering broader financial frameworks, although preoccupied with issues such as the Judiciary Act, Bill of Rights, and the creation of executive departments. The economic system was central. Hamilton believed that sound coinage and a stable national currency would enable trust in the new government, attract investment, facilitate international trade, and reduce dependency on volatile paper currency and foreign coins. He was also acutely aware that inflation, debt, gold, and silver-based currency, starting with a strong $1 silver coin, was part of his proposed cure, though the full plans wouldn't be formalized until the 1792 period. 1789 was the philosophical turning point, a year when the $1 coin shifted from an abstract idea to a policy goal. From a symbolic perspective, if a $1 coin had been minted in 1789, it likely would have carried significant imagery. The concept of Lady Liberty, an allegorical female figure representing freedom and the Republic. The reverse might have included the eagle, long associated with America's independence and strength. But even in 1789, the symbolism was being discussed: what should represent America on its money. Should it be Washington's portrait? He opposed that. Or should it be national emblems? These were not aesthetic decisions alone. They were questions of identity in a new nation. To historians and numismatists, 1789 is not the year of a tangible $1 coin, but it is arguably the spiritual and legal birth year of the United States dollar. The foundations laid during this year shaped everything that came after, from coin sizes and metal content to design philosophies and economic strategy. The $1 coin would go on to become one of the most important and enduring denominations in U.S. history, and its legacy begins here.